As we mourn the passing of an NBA Hall of Famer, each and every story we hear about Bill Walton gets better and better.
Bill, why are you signing my wall?
Because I'm replacing the picture that I took from this spot. My favorite player ever, on and off the court. Loves, how do you spell thus?
He's really stealing the photo. You guys are really taking it with you.
Look, you can take it. This is not stealing. I found this before somebody else lost it. Peace.
Rachel Nichols dug through the archives and reposted this video of Walton when he visited The Jump. The voice of the NBA, Mike Breen, told a phenomenal story on ESPN. Media heavyweights like Rich Eisen shared great moments they had with Walton. Jamil Hill and Michael Smith recall the hilarity of the man on their social media platforms.
But Bill and Kareem are the two greatest centers that I ever saw. Bill passing away at the age of 71, and if you came in contact with him, you were a better person because he was going to make sure you had a smile on your face. Bill left an impression that puts a smile on your face. And that's a damn good legacy.
Dan Patrick, one of the best storytellers of our time, dedicated a segment to him on his show.
You know, one time he gave me a big rock because there was a player for Arizona named Stone Gettings, and he pulls out this huge boulder that he'd been hiding, and he gives it to me as a gift, and he says, "Here, get stoned."
His longtime broadcast partner, Dave Pasch, did the same on The Rich Eisen Show.
And he's a big man with a huge heart and cut a wide path of peace and love behind him. And there's a picture of last summer we played in San Diego. And there he is. That's Mr. Bill Walton. We're thinking about you, Bill. And Jeff ran into him a bunch of times, and you know, he loved music. He loved the Grateful Dead. He also loved. God damn it, Bill, we missed you already. And I just want to state our love for you in public.
From sports to music, like Pearl Jam's Eddie Vedder, the Grateful Dead, Bill's favorite band, and more. The tributes poured in en masse, which makes what I'm about to show you so utterly disappointing. On your screens is Fred Toucher. This was his way of commemorating Walton when news broke of the big man's passing. Have a listen.
How we doing, guys? Hey, Fred, most important thing you got to do today is you got to, in tribute to Bill Walton, you got to run back the clip many years ago when you hung up on him after the Celtics lost the finals.
Thought about that over the weekend. I'm like, I wonder if that's something. I think we address it, but I don't know that today's the day to play it.
Well, I don't know. I mean, why not? It happened. He called in and he was acting the fool about his son on the Lakers, and they said, "Oh, you know, first of all, you got to buy a cheap Wrangler."
I'm looking over these mountains, Majesty. I remember that.
Yeah, but he was like, but while he was selling cars, like, make up your mind, you phony hippie. Like, are you really selling cars, or are you all about peace and love?
That's Toucher with the comments attacking Walton's character.
Why, I'm not sure if it's the day.
I think, Hardy, you might be onto something. I think today, maybe tomorrow.
I did famously hang up on Bill Walton. I would like to know.
Walton, Patino, and Flory are the grand trio, if I remember right.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Here it is, as requested.
Hold on, let's just hold, because I
don't say anything. Just go ahead. He's dead. It's nothing. I didn't kill him. Go ahead, play it.
A ridiculous thing to say. Then they would play the clip of them hanging up on Bill Walton.
Where would you put this? Rank this game as in regards to the Celtic-Laker rivalry.
Over the years, I've learned to never rank coaches, concerts, children, championships, or congratulations. Just enjoy them all. And as a dad, that's what I'm about. Because even though I'm a Celtic, even though the Celtics gave me my life back 25 years ago, more importantly, I'm a dad. It's not about me. I want what's best for our son. And to see that...
All right, well, you're rooting for the Lakers. Goodbye. I'm not going to take a guest who's celebrating the team that just beat the Celtics. I mean, your kid's on the team. Congratulations.
This is something they should not gloat about, nor be proud of. It probably shouldn't have even been played, if we're being brutally honest. It's embarrassing. Thus, after the request from the caller, which they never should have obliged, the show then played the clip from 14 years ago when Bill Walton called into their show to talk about his son, Luke Walton, and his Los Angeles Lakers defeating the Boston Celtics to win the NBA championship. And he was asked where that Game 7, an 83-79 LA win, ranked in the rivalry's history, which is rich. Barrett Sports Media would recap Toucher's statement, ostensibly surprised those in the studio, with Hardy conjecturing, his partner, that this was the reason why he was not sure if it was the day to do it. The update anchor concurred, articulating the show could do it maybe tomorrow. Toucher, however, did not seem to grasp the downside of doing such a thing and instructed Hardy to do it anyway. Hardy reluctantly played the audio and put his face in his palms as Toucher and the listeners relived the moment. Once the audio concluded, he conveyed a sense of astonishment that Toucher's voice had changed so much over the last 14 years and compared it to Al Pacino. Toucher recognized Hardy's observation and attributed it to life before moving on to the next caller. The comments were not at all surprising in regards to Toucher, who has taken heat in the past. Wrote one commenter, "There is no worse Boston sports radio personality than Fred Toucher, an all-time miserable loser that I will never spend my time listening to." A Reddit commenter brought up a valid point and probably hit the nail on the head. Toucher is a D, and Walton is a good dude. That being said, the fact is, this has so many comments, which shows why he, Toucher, says stuff like this. Nobody talks about 98.5 ever, unless there's some sort of controversial take. Awful thing to say, but everyone who's freaking out about this is just feeding the fire. Again, fair point from awful announcing. Bill Walton lived life to the fullest, and we were all better for it, even those who only got to experience him as a broadcaster. Yeah, he was an eccentric personality, but that doesn't mean he isn't a human being with grieving family and loved ones. It seems respecting those who just died that nobody has a bad word to say about should be the bare minimum in sports radio, but for whatever reason, Toucher couldn't wait to pounce on Walton because he talked differently and dared to root for his son, who played for a rival team. I want to piggyback off that as well. Bill Walton is a Hall of Famer. He is regarded as one of the greats. And my generation knows him as this eccentric broadcaster who had phenomenal, hilarious, oddball moments that were filled with historical analysis and creative wording in order to paint the picture for the audience. Yet he was with the Portland Trailblazers, who had a great tribute video. He was with the Boston Celtics. For a sports radio personality to do this, and more importantly, hold a grudge for 14 years over something that is so minuscule in the grand scheme of things, shows not only how out of touch he is, but also how incredibly tone-deaf and insensitive this man is, that he thought this could potentially be a good idea the day after, I believe this was the same day, the day of Bill Walton's passing, to say, well, yeah, here's what he said to me, and I'm raging Celtics man, and he used to play for the Celtics, but now he roots for the Lakers because his son is on the team. Let me ask him a question. If his son or daughter played for a professional sports team that was the rival to the teams that you analyze and cover, wouldn't you be a fan too? I would argue yes. This goes to show how the Blowhard Shock-Jock is decaying, because the vitriol that he is experiencing, to be very clear, on this subject, the personal attacks are the personal attacks. Those are out of my control. I condemn them. But for people to have a fair criticism and critiques of Toucher because of what he did on the day or the day after Bill Walton passed is so completely out of touch, and he deserves the condemnation. If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYD Sports. and or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.